Tommy Tuberville. Senator Tuberville, sir, wonderful to see you again. Let me just stay on this theme for 1 second. All of a sudden, Trump's policies, which are very similar to the ones, his policies this time, very similar to the ones, his policies in the first term. There was no inflation in the first term, but all these pundits and left-wingers and good knows what, they're all saying it's going to be inflationary now in the second term. Same policies, more inflation, huh? I don't understand this, Senator Tuberville. I need help. You need to explain it to me.
Well, we're in the worst inflation in 4 decades, 1.4% growth, pitiful growth last quarter, Larry. This country's in trouble. We keep telling everybody that. I was around the state of Alabama last week, and young kids cannot afford to buy a home. We're losing our middle class. We're printing $80,000 a second, $4.6 million a minute. That's the only way we're keeping this economy pumped up. And then, as you said, the border is out of control, and we're spending $1 billion a month. The American taxpayers are, not the federal government. The American taxpayers have funded over $1 billion a month for all these people coming across the border.
Well, I would say that Biden policies caused inflation. Wait a minute, that's what the facts show. The factoids show that. I mean, I just don't understand how people, all right, Biden's going to be anti-inflationary? Really? What happened to that argument? He spent tons of money, raised taxes, opened the border to millions and millions of immigrants, all these things that are supposed to be so wonderful, and yes, the inflation rate went sky high. Why, they're blaming Trump for Biden policies, but Trump's against Biden policies.
Exactly. I had a good meeting this morning in a hearing with one of your old buddies, David Malpass, former World Bank president, and we talked about the two things that we have to do in this country to get our economy back. And you and he know a lot more about this than I do, but it's about the energy, and it's about everything to do with regulation. We have got to put the Trump deregulation back into our economy, let people breathe, give our farmers a chance, give our small business a chance, drill, baby, drill. He's right on top of that. And by the way, he speaks very highly of you, Larry.
Well, I speak highly of him, so much so he's going to be guesting in the next segment. As a matter of fact, he's a terrific man, David Malpass. Senator Tuberville, let me just ask you, Grady Trimble was reporting, was there a Democratic cover-up now about Joe Biden's decline? Is it actually a real cover-up?
Oh, yeah, it was a deep cover-up. We all knew it here in the Senate and the House because we had people go to the White House. President Biden would just sit there when they would talk about a subject. He'd have his cronies come in and do all the talking, his chief of staff. We knew it was all hidden behind the scenes. They were hoping to keep it to where they could get by that first debate. It didn't work. He crashed and burned. You know, he's a sick man. Unfortunately, people do get sick when they get to that age, and you hate that. But at the end of the day, they're having a tough time up here. At the caucus meeting today, I heard one of the Democrats was asked by one of the media people, says, it looked like a funeral coming out of this meeting. He says, don't give the funeral a bad name. It's worse than that. They're struggling up here, Larry, right now, and they're trying to get the ship back in order. But I tell you, about 48 hours ago, I didn't think that Joe Biden would make it. Now I think that Jill and Joe have talked their way back into possibly making it through this tough time, but that's okay. You know, Donald Trump's the guy that's going to bring this country back because it's not about the people, it's about the policies. And we know who's got the best policies to bring this country back. It's Donald Trump.
Yeah, and you have to figure the brouhaha over Mr. Biden and the cover-up and all the questions about his cognitive disabilities and so forth, and of course, his own performance at the debate. He has only himself to blame. I mean, that's done great damage to the Democratic Party. The other thing that's so interesting is the Democratic convention in Chicago is not going to really be a convention, is it? Most of it's going to be online. It's going to be a virtual convention, which is very weird. And I think people will take note of that weirdness.
Oh, yeah. They might change their mind on that, Larry. They need to get together if they're going to have any chance to win. But it's not just hurting Joe Biden. It's hurting down ballot. It's hurting the senators. It's hurting congressmen. It's hurting all the way down to the county and state and local elections. So they've dug this hole for themselves. We're just going to let them go with it and see what happens. But it's tough times with the people, the taxpayers of this country. They're the ones that are hurting, and we're up there playing games with people's attitudes, with people's the way they handle themselves. It's just absolutely amazing to me to see all this happen right here before the election.
Speaking of playing games on Capitol Hill, the Democrats in the House and Senate are absolutely obsessive over their opposition to the SAVE Act, where you would have to prove citizenship in order to vote. Now, in this day and age, with roughly 10 million illegal immigrants crossing the border in recent years, I would think proof of citizenship would be a very common sense policy. Democrats are absolutely obsessed with defeating this bill. Why is that, sir?
Well, Mike Lee, Senator Lee, and I, we came out with this in the Senate, Chip Roy in the House, of the SAVE Act. And basically we saw that 19 states, blue states, had already said, okay, we're going to give driver's license to illegals. Now, wait a minute. That's going to allow them to vote. Social Security offices now, if they go to Social Security and sign up for Social Security, they are asked to register to vote. It is out of control. They're going to vote as many people as they possibly can. Larry, I was at Darien Gap in Panama this past week talking to people at the border down there. It's not 10 million, it's closer to 20 million people that have come across in our country. They are scared to death down there that it's not just Venezuelans coming across, it is also Africans that are ISIS. They're coming over by the droves. And so we got a huge problem of terrorists coming in this country, illegals voting, but that's what the Democrats live off of. They have nothing else to play with other than getting the power back by these illegals voting. Well,
Senator, just on a last point, when you mentioned foreign policy, you mentioned terrorism, world terrorism. Very good article in the Wall Street Journal today. Trump is not the threat to NATO. NATO is meeting in Washington for the next few days. Trump is not the threat to NATO. It's the China, Russian, Iran axis that's the threat to NATO. And you don't see Mr. Biden taking any actions against it. In fact, Biden said the other night, he was telling George Stephanopoulos in that TV interview, he's saying, well, I shut down Putin. I don't know what he shut down exactly. Biden said don't, and Putin said I will do, and went into Ukraine and is still there. What is up with this? Where does Biden think he's uniting NATO and shutting down Putin?
Well, first of all, congratulations to the American taxpayers for funding Europeans' defense for the last 75 years, and that's what President Trump said. Pay your dues. You know, do what you need to do, but help out. But the American taxpayer has been paying this for years, but you're exactly right. Joe Biden has shown weakness on everything that he's done, from Israel to Yemen, all the way over to Ukraine, to Taiwan. There's no leadership here, Larry. We have to get leadership here, or we're going to get overrun by a lot of people, not just 2 or 3. We have a lot of things going on. Africa is exploding because Russia now is going into Africa, taking over our bases in Africa, because we've been run out, and Joe Biden said nothing about it. We've lost all kind of faith from some of our former allies all over the world.
Wow. All right, we'll talk some more. Thank you, Senator Tommy Tuberville. We appreciate it.